welcome back to We Love This Book. Very excitingly, we are here with a trio of brilliant authors. So we have got Louise Williamson, wave your books around, Louise O'Neill and Levithan, who are actually in the midst of a New Day, New Normal tour. So could you tell me, like, how did that kind of idea for that tour come about, and what's the kind of ethos behind it?
Well, I think it is about just all of our books are really trying to push the boundaries of what is considered normal and really exploring different identity issues and different identities in YA. And it's a really exciting time right now that we have all of these new authors and we have all of these new types of stories being told. And I think that we're a nice cross-section of that.
Yeah. For people who haven't come across your books, are you in you should have, but can you sum it up in, like, not very many words?
It's okay. Upbeat novel, dual narrative, two characters, David and Leo. David, who's struggling with gender identity issues. Leo, who's a new kid at school with a secret. Lives collide when Leo stands up for David in a fight, and obviously all these secrets come out.
Only Every Year is set in a world in which women are no longer able to have daughters. They can have sons, but they can't have daughters. So faced with the extinction of the human race, these schools are set up in which women are genetically modified, bred for their beauty, and then trained to be subservient to men.
And Another Day is about if you fell in love with somebody who changed bodies every day, could you still love them?
Okay. You mentioned that sort of this is something that's kind of more talked about. What do you think has kind of led to the fact that these are stories that we're hearing more of at the moment?
I don't know, I think it's generally awareness is just more up about all sorts of things, and that's partly to do with the media and internet and so on.
Of course.
And just, I think, naturally, things that you see in the media then kind of reflected in YA. Also, often YA is first, and then the media picks up on it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I think the internet definitely plays a large part in that. When I was a teenager, you know, just personally, like issues of feminism, you know, those sort of ideas weren't as widely available. So I think now that teenagers have the access to those sort of ideas, and the dissemination of that information is so much easier.
I'm interested in where, like, we might have to do this one by one, but where the idea kind of came from. Was it very much about an issue that you wanted to explore, or did that kind of grow as part of kind of something else that you were looking at? Was it a character, or what was the kind of seed of the idea?
To start with, I was working with young transgender people. I was just doing admin, but I had loads of access to these young people's stories. I typed up session notes from therapy sessions for young people struggling with their gender identity, and from there I realised it was very interesting, and also that there weren't any books exploring these issues, so I set about trying to do something myself. But then it turned into so many other things. So it is a book about transgender issues, but also it's a book about friendship and family and falling in love and generally being a teenager.
Yeah, I mean, it's very similar. That it was a personal experience that I was working for a fashion magazine in New York. I had a relapse of my anorexia, and I think it was just the combination of those two factors, and just feeling very weary about my body and about being a woman, and feeling those sort of societal pressures. And I think I became very hungry for stories like this, and I didn't feel like those were reflected in the media or in the literature maybe that I was reading, and I wanted to. I felt if I was hungry for those sort of stories, that surely other women would be as well.
Yeah, and mine, it's almost, somewhere between the two is where mine comes in, because I wanted to sort of theoretically look at this notion of how we're defined by our bodies, and instead of writing realistic fiction, instead I chose to write about a character who changes bodies every day. Mm-hmm. And then in the new book, Another Day, I'm really talking about what it's like to be in love with somebody like that, and sort of our perception of that. It's very easy to be accepting of it when it's you, but mm-hmm. it's a little less easy to be accepting of it when it's somebody else.
Aside from Present Company, are there any books that kind of deal with these sort of things that you have particularly enjoyed this year, or even actually historically, or perhaps ones that are coming out soon?
I mean, I'm madly in love with George. That would be a book, George. I edited a book called George by an author, Alex Gino, who is a trans author, writing about a boy named George, who's really a girl named George, but everybody sees George as a boy when we know that inside George is a girl. And it's about really coming out and coming to get everybody to accept that she is a she, and George is going to live a life as a girl, even if people are seeing her as a boy.
Okay. And I have read this actually, and I can vouch for it being really good.
Thank
It
you.
comes out
I'm
in
not very
September.
objective, but you
No,
are.
but
so thank you.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I think for me it's always going to be The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. It was just, I mean, my English teacher gave it to me when I was 15 and it absolutely changed my life. It was the first time that I'd really been introduced to those sort of ideas about feminism and about the patriarchy and the role of women in our society, and I think it really gave me a language with which to articulate myself.
I guess I can't pick a book that's sort of been the biggest influence in general, but I just pick a book that's coming out soon that I really enjoyed, which is James Dawson's All of the Above, which I just think, I read it and I thought it was hilarious and moving and touching and really captured what I think British teenagers are really like in a way that I think that many authors are doing, but James just did it in a proper way, like nailed it. So,
Okay.
yeah.
And last question, what are you reading at the moment?
I'm reading A Little Life.
Which is a lot of book.
Yeah.
It's on my Kindle because I thought that looks like a chunky book. So I'm 11% through, which is a very romantic way of reading.
Yeah. I'm reading a proof. A friend of mine asked me just to read her proof and maybe give it a blurb. So
Okay.
it's Needlework by Deirdre Sullivan, and it's excellent.
Okay.
And I am reading V. Schwab's A Darker Side of Magic.
I
which
loved
is
that book.
so good.
Yeah, it's so
It's
great.
good.
Isn't
I mean,
it?
like, it's hard for me to be in this room right now and not reading
Yeah.
it. But
Yeah.
it'd be rude to be reading a book
Yeah.
during the interview, but it's pretty amazing.
Amazing. Brilliant. Well, thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.